Hello, everyone, and thank you for letting me present you a little bit about Tableau. And thank you for the introduction already. Why is my slide not changing? Yeah, so a quick introduction about me. My name is Martijn. I founded the Information Lab in the Netherlands in 2015. So in September, actually. So we're now 5 years old. Been working with Tableau for quite a longer time, since 2008. Fully certified, accredited, you name it. And if you would like to reach out to me, you can find me on these details. So you can likely see that in the recording as well afterwards, or I think we will share the presentation. So we are a Tableau Gold and Alteryx Premium partner. That means the highest level of Tableau partnership that's possible. We were founded in the UK by Tom Brown in 2010. And we're indeed in 8 countries across Europe. We have our own data school where we train people to become consultants. And we have a little over 200 employees and 7 Tableau Zen Masters. And a Zen Master is a person that is not just very relaxed, but also one that absolutely masters Tableau and shares his knowledge in the Tableau community. So he's also willing to share what he has learned and found, both in the community with other Tableau users, as well as with Tableau to be able to improve the product. And there are about 25 to 30 chosen every year. And at the moment, there are 7 of those worldwide that are in our company. So that's quite a high number. So we have loads of customers, which I won't bother you with. So I'm just going to focus on the thing why we're here, focusing on Tableau. And the reason for this is because Salesforce bought Tableau in June 2019 and completed the takeover in August. And they paid a large amount of 15.7 billion for Tableau. I think even mostly in shares, because Tableau definitely believed in the combined power of the 2 tools. And yeah, that's the main reason why I'm here today, to tell you a little bit about Tableau, what it is, what it does, give you a quick demo, and yeah, hopefully you'll know a bit more how it also works inside the Salesforce ecosystem at the end of the presentation. So what is Tableau? Tableau is a tool that allows you to see and understand data. So I've emphasized see and understand, because obviously seeing your data is something that's quite common. We've all seen those tables of endless numbers and then trying to make sense of them. What Tableau does is making those numbers visual. So you can see them and actually identify patterns by making a visual representation so you can better understand them. So to give you some examples of the type of visualizations Tableau can make, this might be an alternative for a profit and loss statement. Most accounting firms, you'll see those as really boring tables. And in this overview, you can immediately see the areas where you're doing well or not so well, in case they're orange, and what the trend has been over the last few months, and what the change actually has been in a quick glance of the numbers. This might be another example, one that was shared recently about the state of marketing, research done by Salesforce, and something that we at the Information Lab created for Salesforce and actually shared on Tableau Public. You can see there are all different types of visualizations possible. But it doesn't have to be business data. Tableau also works really well with other types of data, like football data in this case. This is something we created for Gazzetta dello Sport, a big Italian newspaper. Champions League data, Tour de France. Obviously, we had an amazing ride today with the Queen's ride with all the mountains. And we also work really well with different types of maps. So as you can see, Tableau is quite a visual tool, allowing you to see and share your data in completely different ways and in ways that work best for the story you would like to tell. But obviously, I've picked all the really nice ones. Imagine this one, looking at Amsterdam, seeing how the Swift breeding sites developed around the city. And before I give you a demo, I thought it might be good to tell you a little bit about the platform itself. And I can imagine that looking at this slide, you think, wow, that's a lot of products. Where do I begin? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that hopefully it's a bit bigger and easier to understand. And then in the absolute center, you'll see Tableau Desktop. And desktop is the part where most of the analysts will work with. It's where they connect to data. And that data can be pretty much anything. You can see it on the left with data sources. So they can be server-based. Think of like databases like Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server. They can be Tableau extract files. They can be web data like APIs. They can be cloud-based like Google BigQuery or Amazon Redshift. And obviously they can be file-based like the good old Excel sheets. Those are still used quite a lot in a lot of organizations. So when you connect that data, you can create your visualizations and your interactive dashboards. But sometimes you need a step in between to clean up your data, to combine it, to make sure it's in the right shape. And for that, you see on the top left, Tableau Prep Builder, which is our end user ETL tool. And for those who are not familiar with ETL, it stands for Extract, Transform, and Load. So it allows you to take the data out of several systems, combine them, transform them, and load them into something else, in this case, Tableau Desktop. And once we've created those amazing visualizations and interactive dashboards in Desktop, we can also share them with our colleagues. Or even wider with our friends. We can do that using Tableau Server. And Tableau Server is the on-premise name of the software product that allows you to share your reports. Or you could do that at Tableau Online, which is the SaaS hosted solution, similar to the SaaS offering of Salesforce, where you have the ability to also share those reports. Well, all the way on the right, you can see they can be consumed on mobile. And at the bottom, you'll see Tableau Public. Tableau Public is quite a bit different, despite being exactly the same as Tableau Server. So it offers the same functionality that you have the ability to publish your interactive dashboards and share them with others. But as the name suggests, it's a public service. So it means anything you share there will be shared with the entire world. So you probably don't want to use this for your confidential information inside the organization. But some of the visualizations you've seen me show before, like the newspaper or the Champions League data, that's definitely something you would like to publish in Tableau Public so that other people can enjoy and see what you created. For me personally, it's also a great place to learn because any visualization that has been published to Tableau Public is also downloadable and you can see how they build it. You can also use the underlying data to create your own visualizations. So it's a great way to reverse engineer and test things and find fun new things. So far about the platform itself. Time for a little action. So I'm going to end the presentation and hopefully switch to Tableau. And just to double check that you can all see a rather empty screen at the moment. And this is Tableau Desktop. So Tableau Desktop runs on a Mac or it runs on Windows. Doesn't really matter that much. And on the left side, we've already connected to some data. In this case, I'm connecting to a local Excel sheet, but as mentioned before, we can connect to pretty much anything. And I can see I have all sorts of columns in my Excel sheets. So these are the data fields that I have available. Tableau has nicely distributed them in dimensions and measures. So let's see if we can get some insights into what's happening inside this data set. So to give you a bit of a background on the data itself, this is a superstore data set, how we call it. So this is a retail organization selling some stuff. So you might see orders in there. You can see the product that's been bought, how much profit we made on it, if it was returned or not. All that types of information is in there. So let's have a look if we can see where we sold some things. So for that, I'm going to double click on my country field. And as soon as I do that, you can see that Tableau immediately plots a map. And in this case, a map with dots so that I can see in which countries I've sold something. So pretty much every country across Europe. Well, not all of them, but quite a few. And on its own, this is already telling me something, but not a lot. So let's see if you can enrich this data with some more insights. So let's say I would like to know how profitable each of those countries was. And let's drag profit to color. And as soon as I add that to the view, you can immediately see Tableau changing the view type from a symbol map with the dots to a filled map. And we can immediately spot that we're not doing that well in Sweden. and as well in the Netherlands. Obviously, orange is our most favorite color, so I think it makes sense a little bit. But in this perspective, we're not making a whole lot of profit. So this is just to show you how easy it is to create visualizations in Tableau. Just double click some of the fields and Tableau will automatically pick the right visualization style for you. So that's helping and assisting you, but it's not limiting you. So let's have a look at some of the other options we have. So in this data set, I also have information on products and product categories and subcategories and stuff like that. So let's see if I can have a look at my categories. And let's add profit to the view as well. And I can immediately see that some categories are doing better than others. Obviously, this one is doing really well, my office supplies, but furniture is generating less profit. Let's make that a little bit more clear by also coloring them. And you can notice that by just dragging in fields to specific locations, either on columns or rows or on the marks card, I can get instant changes in my visualization. And I could also quickly pick any of the show me options, which change visualization style to something else that might be more to my liking. Tableau also suggests which one of those is the best way forward. And in this case, it actually is telling me, hey, horizontal bars might be the best way to visualize your data based on visual best practices. And that's already the one that we have. So that's why there's an orange border around this. So I know which categories are profitable, but I would like to know more. So I would like to know about my subcategories. And since we're in a hierarchy, I can drill down. And I can immediately see that tables are less profitable. So you've probably heard my remark before about tables, and lots of data inside tables are not that easy to comprehend. So this might be an idea why Tableau chose to make this subcategory less performant than the others. As you can see, this is a visual representation of your data, and you can immediately spot why and which of those subcategories is performing better than the others. They also have the ability to quickly filter. So if I would only like to keep my tables and drill down a level deeper to see which manufacturers are performing better than others, I can easily do that. So let's have a look at categories like this. So another common thing you would like to do in your data, especially with a data set like this, is to compare things over time. Are we improving, or is my revenue going down, or my profit going down? And a way to do that in Tableau is by using the date fields. So this is a common month, day, year field. So by just double clicking, you'll see that Tableau has automatically aggregated this to the highest level possible, in this case, the year level. And by adding information into the view, you can see we already start building a visualization. I can drill down to deeper levels or leave out levels in between. And in this case, we're looking at discrete dates. Well, let me change that to a continuous month. And we can definitely see that we have an increase in our profit over time. Now, Tableau also has all sorts of options here to be able to draw trend lines. So we can definitely see that the trend is going up. We have also options like forecasting and clustering to do some analytics on top of this data. So for my last visualization, let's maybe have a look at correlations.
Slightly late in the day, but is there any chance you could increase the zoom on the screen? Otherwise, I can increase it manually at my end. I don't know if any other people are squinting, but
I do have quite a high resolution, so I might be able to lower the resolution if it's a problem.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Check that. Rotation. Oh, scales.
Because you were clicking on buttons like, oh, where's he clicking? Where's he clicking?
Let's see if I can test this, and I hope that the connection stays on. So would this be better for you?
Yeah, definitely. A lot easier.
Great. So this is my at a time series that we just left. So we just dragged fields from left to right and changed some settings on the fields to instantly generate a different visualization style. And for the next visualization, I'm going to have a look at correlations. So we're going to build a scatter plot. I'm looking at profit and sales. So if I'm making more profit, if I'm making more sales, so more revenue, will I also make more profit? Let's hope so. And you can see Tableau immediately builds the worst scatter plot in the world. In this case, we only have one mark on there. And that is because we haven't told Tableau to split up my data set. So I'm just seeing the total of my profit and the total of my sales of the entire data set. So let's have a look at my products. So I now have a dot for each of my individual products, and I can quickly see which product has high profits and high revenue, or very low profits, actually a loss, and still quite a high revenue amount. All by just reordering the fields inside Tableau. Let's call this one a scatter plot. So these were just 4 very simple visualization styles, and I hope you've seen that it's quite easy to generate them by just dragging some of the fields. But this does not make an interactive dashboard. So let's create one based on the visualization that we now have. So I've generated a dashboard, and I'm going to click on the sheets that we already have created before. I'm going to drag them into the view. And just by dragging them in, maybe this one in between. And let's set this to auto. So we have a full screen dashboard. You can see that we already generated a dashboard combining multiple different visualizations. And in a sense, it's actually interactive. So when you hover over items, you get a tooltip, you can select them, you can click, but nothing really filters or nothing really happens. So let's change that. So let's see if we can make this actionable. By clicking the small funnel icon, I'm going to make my map interact with all the other graphs. So if I select Sweden, you can instantly see all the other graphs updating and showing me the data specifically for Sweden. Select the Netherlands or Belgium. You can see it definitely works, and we could select multiple countries as well. This not only works on a map, it works on every visualization. So when we select all of them, where it is here, I could also select a specific time range, and you can see that all the other graphs will automatically update. You also might have remembered that we had a filter here. So let's add, my filters was for this one. So let's include all. And we can also apply that same filter to apply to all the worksheets. So if I make changes here, all the graphs will automatically update. Now what I've created here is all locally. So I'm doing this on my desktop, and obviously I can show my screen to somebody else. But I think it might be more ideal if I could share this on a central environment, and that would be either Tableau Online or Tableau Server, or if it's public data, you can do that on Tableau Public. And by clicking this button, let's get zoom out of the way. There it is. Let's connect to my server. I'm going to publish this into the project Salesforce Amsterdam user group. I'm going to give this a name, demo, and I'll publish it there. And it's going to take a few seconds, and a pop-up comes on my screen. So I have multiple screens, so I need to make this a bit smaller. That my demo environment has now been published. Wait, this was just a map. This is my dashboard. And you can see it's fully interactive here as well. So we can click, we have the tooltips, my data automatically updates. We can set alerts. So if my profit goes over or below a specific value, we automatically get an email. I can share this and schedule this that it automatically comes in to my mailbox every day or every week. We can leave comments, and can also make specific selections on comments and tag people to ask, hey, what's happening here? All within Tableau Server. So far for the demo. Let me get back to the presentation itself. So we as the Information Lab also like to share our knowledge, just like the Zen Masters. So if you're up for some free training, we have Thursdays trainings at 3. Good to remember that those are UK times, so it's probably 4 for the people in Amsterdam. And we also have Tableau for Salesforce training there. So if you go to this meetup address, you'll see what types of presentations and trainings are available, and there's no charge for them. So if you're interested, really have a look there. Might be worthwhile for you. We also still have some time for questions. And before we answer the questions from the chat, I thought it might be useful to generate some of them of my own, because I can imagine that you might have them. So how does Tableau differ from Salesforce Einstein? So if you look at what the demo just before, Tableau is really strongly visually oriented. So it's all about those interactive dashboards, drag and drop, instantly seeing what's happening with your data. So I think that's a bit of a difference. Tableau connects to any kind of data. So it's not just the CRM or the sales or the marketing data. We also work for the Dutch national football team, where we analyze players and how well their heart rate restores after they've done a sprint, or how many goals were scored within 10 seconds after a corner. So data can be anything from anywhere, at any types of data. I've actually been working today with a company that's doing all the corona data for hospitals and the research data behind that. So that's can be anything. And we can reach it anywhere. It can be in the cloud, it can be databases, flat files, and it doesn't really matter what type of format. So more importantly for you, I think, can Tableau connect to Salesforce? Yes, we can. So Tableau has a native connector to Salesforce. If you look up the presentation afterwards, you can click on these links and you'll see how you can connect. It also has some starter workbooks that you could use with the Salesforce data. You could use the Datorama to publish from Datorama and the Marketing Cloud towards Tableau Server or Tableau Online. And MuleSoft has a nice webinar coming up tomorrow night on how they do data integration together with Tableau as well. I think they're discussing the global Corona data sets that Salesforce has made available together with MuleSoft and Tableau. And I think this might be my last prepared question. Can you embed Tableau dashboards inside Salesforce? Yes, you can. There are 3 different options to do so. You could use a web tab or visual force page. I'm going to show an example in the next slide. We also have a blog on that, on how to do that. You could use a Canvas connector. I think that's quite old already, so I'm not sure if you're still using that. But that will be one option. And I think more modern would be to use a Lightning Web Component. Tableau has a beta available from that as well on the URL you're looking here. And it also works really nicely when you use single sign-on, if you have an AD or a SAML or OpenID integration with Salesforce and your Tableau server. So to show you an example of such a visual force page and how easy it is to create. In the background, you'll see, in this case, a lead. And for that specific lead, I know that this person is coming from Florida, and it's showing me a Tableau dashboard specific for Florida and how the orders developed over time. So to be able to embed this inside Salesforce, you see a quick view of the code bottom right, and you can see it's not a lot of lines. Technically, this is just something you copy outside of the Tableau server. It's already prepared for you, and you just need to insert variable options, in this case, like the lead state, to be able to make it a bit more dynamic. And I hope you have many more questions, so feel free to leave them in the chat, and I would love to answer them for as much time as we have still available.
So there are a lot of questions, and hopefully you can hear me, guys. I will still stay undercover because I think my camera is taking all internet. So one question important, how Tableau is priced, for example.
Okay, I can definitely show that. I actually prepared a slide for it. So Tableau is priced with 3 different types of licenses. So we have Creator license, Explorer license, and Viewer license. A Creator is what you've just seen me do. Use Tableau Desktop to connect to data, create visualizations, and publish them to the Tableau server. An Explorer license can do similar to what a creator does, but only inside the web browser. So they're only able to use the web browser and the Tableau server to be able to create those visualizations. And those data sources should already be present on the Tableau server. And lastly, the viewer license is a license for the type of consumers. So people who are just consuming those interactive dashboards. They will not be able to create their own visualizations or their own dashboards, but they will be able to click and filter and select those interactive dashboards. And the prices listed here are monthly per user. See, I make a small typo there, based on an annual contract. So this is the normal pricing. When you go into really big organizations, they also have volume licenses that do not go per user, but go per the hardware that you're actually using to support your server. Technically, you're still paying per user because the more users you have, the more hardware you'll need, but it's a bit more flexible.
Okay, there's a lot of questions. I'm not sure if we have time for everything. I will choose 2, 3, and then I can forward you the rest. Like that, we can keep in touch in case we can answer them. If not, you guys, Martijn share his details. Don't feel free to contact him. But for example, we had, because there's a lot of questions also how Tableau versus Salesforce. I'm not sure if you fully aware, because I know that your focus is Tableau per se, but let's just see what we can do. Okay. So can Tableau do a real-time reporting for Salesforce? Is the question.
Not to my knowledge. So real-time as in per second, if something updates, it's immediately visible in Tableau. I don't think that that's possible at the moment because the APIs are REST-based, meaning that data will always be pulled on a schedule. And obviously those schedules can be very fast, let's say every 15 minutes or every 5 minutes, depending on how long they take to load. But real live streaming data into Tableau is not possible.
Okay. Is the Tableau Prep Builder similar to Einstein Analytic Data Flow Builder?
I don't know. This name sounds familiar, but I haven't seen the Einstein Data Builder.
Okay. Where do the queries run in Tableau? Is it all local or?
It depends on the data source you connect with. So databases, typically nearly all of the queries run inside the database. And you have to choose the option to choose to get the data locally inside Tableau desktop or server and run that on an extract. So you're flexible in there. If you have a flat file, Tableau makes a shadow copy in its extracts format and then processes the data there, which is a good thing because it allows you to open Excel sheets with millions of records. And if you would normally do that in Excel, it will be painfully slow and consuming a lot of RAM. And in Tableau, you can just analyze that instantly. And most REST APIs, Tableau ingests the data inside its own formats because the REST is like a stateful API. So different options there depending on the data source.
Okay, and the last one, and we will miss 3. Can data be extracted from Tableau Web to CSV?
Yes, you can extract data in many different formats. You could do it to CSV, to Excel. You could even do directly to a PowerPoint that generates all the slides that are in your dashboard into a PowerPoint format for you to share. So we have many different options there.
Okay, I think that is up. Okay, awesome. It's on the chatter now, so that's okay. I think that we will stop. I have 1, 2, 3 more, but we will forward you the questions after maybe to follow up.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. I'll stop sharing my screen
Thank you
now.
so much. Thank you.